Hey, I'm the Doctor of Who,
And I am Sheep.
and welcome to an ETTO review of Ready Player One. If you want to, this is spoiler, it's full of spoilers, so if you want to have a spoiler-free one, just click the link down below. Straight to the point, did you enjoy it?
I loved this movie so much. I loved it probably more than I should have, and probably as much as I expected to.
I mean, it's about as much as I expected you to love it as well, and I don't even know how much you love it yet, because we haven't talked about it yet.
That's right.
I liked this film. I actually really liked it. I liked it more than I wanted to like it, and I think I liked it more than I expected to like it. Because I really did enjoy it, and there are a lot of good things that I would like to talk about, I think up front we'll just talk about the negatives, because that's all YouTube really cares about. They don't care about good things, they care more so about the bad things.
And maybe we can also time code to the good things.
Here's the number.
That's right. In total, I found it hard to sort of separate the movie from the book, knowing the knowledge of the book. Occasionally I could find it hard to sort of go, well, I know in the book this happens, so this all makes sense.
There's just a few things that you're like, I mean, as a member of the general public that haven't read the book, this would be a bit weird. But my main thing that really, it's probably the biggest and overarching with anything else that I have a problem with the film, is that Ernest Cline was still involved in this film. I think is the only big problem with it. He dragged over his terrible dialogue, because I'm almost certain he's never talked to a human being before. There's a bit with the Ben Mendelsohn's little nerd huddle, which I'm almost certain is the inside of Ernest Cline's mind, because all they're doing is spurting information out. Everything they were saying, 5 seconds later, one of our protagonists would say as well, and it was like, come on, mate, just stop showing them.
Yes, the redhead girl,
Oh,
although she was cute,
Yeah.
was like, why? She didn't need to be there.
That entire little
explained-
huddle didn't need to be there. That big guy and the little guy needed to be there, and that was it.
Pretty much, it seemed really weird, and they didn't explain those people very well at all. In the book, they explain why they're there. They are the experts in all of their different areas of 80s pop culture. I feel like they were probably, gunters who fell for IOI's thing and succumbed to the greed of getting that money instead, because by the end of the movie they were cheering. They work for IOI, but I don't think they care. I feel like they were gunters.
Totally. That's a good thing. I just think.
Yeah.
It was every time we cut to them, I was like, really? Are we here again?
They kept doubling up on
Yeah.
explanations of things. It just seemed so unnecessary.
The adventure. They recited the fact that there's a small dot 4 times in the space of 10 minutes. Oh,
Yes.
Imagine how cool, and I mean, it's something, as nerds, we already knew, but imagine how cool if it was just Parzival that said it as he was doing it, because that's a cool moment, but I'd already heard that, I didn't care.
I thought that the romance was a little bit rough. Especially him telling her that he's in love with her at the dance club.
Oh my god.
That was so fast. I swear it had almost just been days.
And also, it's because it's a book, it's we had 200 pages in the book. This is 20 minutes.
Halfway through the book, whereas this is, it's so quick. It felt way too rushed. We hadn't had enough of the character to really know that he's been following Artemis for this whole time. He sort of mentioned it, and they sort of explained that she is famous. She's a famous gunter, but...
Yeah, because he's watched all the Twitch streams.
Yeah. In the book, they go into a lot more detail about how obsessed with this girl that he already is, whereas the movie sort of rushed it very quickly. Their falling out was a lot more shallow than in the book. The book is huge. There's months where they don't see each other.
That's my final big problem, because I want to talk about everything that's good about this film, is that everything is just very thin. There's very thin characters, very thin world. In the books, your main protagonists die. They're gone, whereas in this, they just turn into coins and they're fine. There's no risk to anything, and it's to its credit until it's to its disadvantage, because I loved the fact it didn't dwell on anything and just pushed through and was here's the characters, let's keep moving. But I just didn't care about any of them. One
thing that I have in the movie, Shoto in the book, I don't know why they changed his name, he died in the book. He was actually murdered. There was nothing in here that really upped any stakes.
No.
They got close with sort of kidnapping people and all that sort of thing. There was no sort of like, we have to fight for show and for any other characters that died.
Because no one died.
Yeah, no one died.
No.
It was like...
I mean, his aunt, or
his
as he said, his mum's sister. What a weird thing to say.
But the old lady, there was more of a connection with the old lady, even though she was only mentioned for like a page or two in the book.
I cared about that old woman in that book.
Because, like, they had some sort of friendship, and you could tell that there was an ongoing friendship, whereas in the movie, he almost just ignores her when he walks past her.
Totally. I mean, and this is probably the last bad thing, is that opening sequence was such a weird, like, cool, we're going to open with Jump because it's an 80s film, but apart from that, nothing is happening. He's just sliding on some poles, and look at our amazing CGI, which is amazing.
It was a fairly, like, lengthy opening, but it also wasn't heaps long.
This film, nothing is terrible, it's just, when it does something wrong, it's like, damn it, dude.
Yeah, like, so close, so close.
Here's the real world for, like, 20 seconds. Let's go to the Oasis. Like, it doesn't muck around. Like, it goes, Assassin's Creed took too long to do the Animus and then did none of the Animus. Whereas this is like, the exciting bit of Ready Player One is the Oasis, so let's just get straight there.
Can we just talk, because I had some physical reactions in this movie. Not dirty, but just like...
Oh, I had some dirty ones.
I don't generally react in a movie when I'm excited about something. But, holy crap, can we just talk about when he uses the Rubik's Cube.
Oh!
The music. It was Back to the Future.
This score was such a little shit. Every time I was like, oh, I hate this movie, it's like, here's a little bit of Back to the Future. And it's like,
oh man, it was so beautiful.
Yeah. The takeaway, as I said, Ernest Cline's involvement is the problem. But it's like, the fact that you got Spielberg and Alan Silvestri solved every problem in this film apart from the dialogue. Like, if it wasn't those two, I mean, maybe John Williams instead, but if it wasn't those people, this film would just not exist, and I would not have just been, like, so in awe constantly.
Did you, and when did you pick that the quarter that he was given by the guy was the extra life?
Straight away.
You got it straight away?
Yeah.
I didn't pick it until just before the battle started.
I see.
It seemed obvious once it hit the battle.
Yep.
To me, like, if you'd read the book, it seemed obvious, but once the battle started, I'm like, crap, they're going to use that thing, everyone's going to die, how are they going to get it, where's his extra life?
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Wait. He has the thing. Did you pick that Ogden Morrow was the curator?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's Simon Pegg's
How
voice.
do you
The whole
pick
time I'm like,
that?
that's Simon Pegg. That's Simon Pegg's British voice. Because I was like, you've made Simon Pegg an American, so the only British character in this entire thing has to be him.
Interesting.
Like,
good point. Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't pick that. I didn't pick that at all.
Welcome to Will watching a movie, everybody.
I really dug that. I thought that was a cool little twist. I was sort of hoping Ogden Morrow would play more of a bigger role in the real world. He essentially is the reason why they win in the book. Whereas this, he sort of just turns up at the end and is like, hey, you did it.
Parsifal's like, oh, this is a test, I'm not going to sign it, which is not how that should work. Like, he should be like, I'm not going to sign it because that's the right thing to do. Instead, he's like, I'm playing a game, this is how I win. Which is not.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But, and that would have been fine. It would have been like, oh, but that is still him choosing not to. But then they open the door and they're like, here's the contract. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll sign that. And it's like, wait, no, no!
He had like a lot of logic inside the Oasis.
Yeah.
And then not a lot of logic
Not in real
outside
life.
the Oasis.
Very strange.
Like, just take a step back, read the contract.
Yeah. Halliday was everything I wanted Halliday to be. Holy shit.
Oh, he was so good. He was so cool.
So great. And the weirdest thing about it is, it's like another layer of Steven Spielberg nostalgia, because his big Gandalf-y voice is the voice that actor does as the BFG, which is another Steven Spielberg film. So every time he talked, I was like, oh, it's the BFG!
I didn't pick that he was the BFG.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the same actor.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like,
okay, cool.
It's just this film is just a stream of like things, and it's just it's very good. Speaking of it being a stream of things, though, it never gets messy. The only scene where it almost gets messy is his like getting dressed scene, and he's like, this thing from this movie, this thing from this band. I'm like, dude, stop.
Another one of Ernest Cline's lists of references.
I was astounded that he managed to make a film character list thing. So I was like, wow, they got that in there.
Oh, can we talk about the challenges? I feel like some of the challenges in this, like, I'm glad they changed them because they were way more visually interesting than they would have been in the book for the most part. I like that they did sort of mention Joust very lightly. I think it was that big group of nerds. Did mention Joust, which was the first challenge in the book, if you haven't read it. And I dug that there was at least a reference to it. But all of these were visually interesting. Like although we saw probably like most of the race through the trailers already.
Oh, the race!
What's up?
God, it was good. No music.
Yes,
just race. Just beautiful sound design.
It was so cool.
Oh,
it was so cool.
amazing.
Yeah, there were so many cool references. I reckon the more we watch this movie, the more things we're gonna see, because it's just like a smattering. It's like they've just thrown all of pop culture and just like jammed it into the camera.
I think I was going to do this at the end, but do you like, I've got a list, but I'm sure you can just off the top of your head, your favorite references in the film?
The ones that blew my mind, that I was not expecting to see, was probably the final battle, seeing people's avatars.
Yeah.
And also smatterings throughout as well. I keep saying smatterings. I'm not
keep
sure
saying
why.
it.
I don't
Just keep
usually say
saying
that
it. We
word.
love it.
Just the smattering.
Smatterings, there it is.
Hello Kitty. Like super early on. That was so random. But Battletoads, there was like actual 3D Battletoads at the beginning. The Ninja Turtles. And Diato's Gundam was sick.
Oh!
Like, the fact that they got that in was so good.
Do you know what he was jumping out of?
The thing from...
Serenity.
It was Serenity, yes. Holy crap.
It's just stupid.
Duh. This movie was, like, made for me and you.
Yeah.
Like, it was just...
So, I've got my list here. We've talked about it. The 66 Batmobile. That, like, I was like... I would be... I was like, it would be great if they do it, and then it was like the first shot of a car in that race was the 66 Batmobile, and I was like, oh, thank you. The Zemeckis Cube and everything that came from that. Doc Brown, when he first gets into the Oasis, Doc Brown's standing behind him.
Really?
Yeah, with his 2015 glasses on, with his yellow coat, which was very cool.
Frick, I missed that. Alright, I am going to be seeing this multiple times, I think.
Yeah. The fact that Ben Mendelsohn is Bizarro in the Avatar, his Oasis avatar is Bizarro, which is really cool.
Yeah, I didn't pick that. I was just like, oh, he's just like a big businessman.
Yes, this is my favorite reference that is very tiny, and I really hope you saw it, because if not, there is on the mirror of the lady in her workshop, on her mirror. Is the Goldie Wilson for mayor poster from Back to the Future.
No.
Yeah.
What?
That was my
frick.
like, ah!
These are the things that is just going to be like, every time I see it, I'm going to find so many new things.
Absolutely.
So many new things.
And the one Easter egg thing, ironic use of Easter egg, but the one that we have to talk about is The Shining.
Oh man. That freaking reveal, like opening the door into the mansion,
and I mean, this is the little bit of Will bit, the doubling of grain to look like the film. Oh, it hit me.
I didn't visually pick up on that, but that's definitely something you would do.
Yeah. And actually, before we get straight into The Shining, before they go in, one of the films that are very close to the actually no, as they're going into the cinema, one of the posters on the outside is War Games, so there is a little bit of like, that film is one of his favorites, but we're not going to look at that one.
Yes.
But yeah, The Shining, that was stupidly good. Like, that is its own film.
Yeah.
A film of people going into other movies, because that was done so stupidly well that shouldn't have been a 10-minute beat of a film.
I wish that part of that section of the movie was more of like the war games in the book, where you have to actually play out parts of the film.
Yeah.
This was super close, and I'm stoked that it was that close.
Yeah.
To doing it, because it just looks stunning. Like every scene, the two girls, the blood.
I think, and I mean, this links into the point that I want to make the most, is that this film is going to be the best looking film of this year. I don't care.
Yeah.
This film, you forget that it is basically an animated film for like 90% of the time, because you get lost in the world, which is the point of the Oasis. You're never like, that's a CGI person. You're like, no, that's real. I mean, that doesn't make sense, but it's real.
Yeah. Overall, like, I know we're still reviewing, but I just want to say, this will probably be one of my top movies of the year. One of the 3, I think.
It might be in my top 10.
Yeah.
Because I base my films on like how much I enjoyed them, and I don't think many films will top how much I, for 80% of the time, was enjoying this and like the feelings I got.
Yes.
It'll be very hard to top this. I want to talk about probably my favorite character in the film. And I mean, let's count to 3. You won't say it at the same time as me because of the time delay, but ready? 3, 2, 1. TJ Miller.
Artemis?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, okay. Yep. He was just TJ Miller.
I forgot he was in the film.
When he came up, I'm like, oh yeah. Leading up to it, I'm like, TJ Miller's in this. This is
Yeah.
going to be so random. Like,
And it
where's
was.
he going to fit in? And then you see this monstrous guy who has like a skull for a body.
Yeah.
He starts talking and it's like, there he is. There he is.
Every line of dialogue he had landed perfectly.
Yep.
And I was like,
It was so good.
oh, yeah.
Like, he was good at being evil, but he was also kind of just like a bumbling evil fool at the same time.
Yeah, when he told like Harley Quinn and the rest of them to get out, that was like, haha.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should talk about Artemis because, you know, she's kind of probably, outside of TJ Miller, the most well-rounded and real character in the whole film.
And she seemed to really know what she was doing most of the time. The fact that she was the one to sort of go, like, come on dude, you need a disguise for the first time. And can we just talk about how cool those Clark Kent sunglasses
It was very
were,
cool.
like the effect?
Yeah.
That was just a cool little thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's just everything, every time it makes a reference, unless it's a spoken reference. The spoken references are the sore point of this film. Every visual reference it does just nails it and then just keeps going. And you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah, they don't dwell on anything.
No.
It just sort of happens.
But yeah, she was great. I think the only problem, and it's the problem with all the characters bar, and I've forgotten the name, but the one that turns out to be the lady, is that it's just not right. Like, at the point of their real world persona is that they are not what they are in the real world, but everyone is very, very attractive.
Like, I understand. I know a few people who have sort of have had birthmarks and stuff like that before, or
Yeah.
have
Oh, absolutely.
birthmarks, and they're totally self-conscious. That
Yeah.
is 100% a thing, so understandably she would think that. I can't believe how many licenses they got in this movie. Like, this movie would have cost billions of dollars, right?
Surely.
Like, seriously. It's insane how much they got. Like, they got Gundam, they got, like, everything in Atari, like, the music that they got.
Speaking on the music
But-
thing, one of my hang on. I just want to say my 2 least favorite scenes because I then want to go into our best scenes and then we'll just do a wrap up.
Sure.
I've got a scene and a moment. The scene is when they're on the rooftop for the first time, they're like chatting, and he literally says the words, "Wow, the real world's slow," and I was like, yeah, get back in the Oasis, mate. Get on with it. Because that scene went for too long for a film that is paced so fast, there was no room for them to just sit and pretend they had emotions. The one reference that fell flattest for me, and it was the closest it got to being like a DreamWorks, Pixar, Despicable Me kids film, was when he like rolled out his Saturday Night Fever dance floor and they started dancing. I was like, no.
I totally agree. No one in my theater seemed to be that into that.
No.
What would have been mine? Yeah, I think just some of the romance scenes just felt a little bit corny. Because the point in the film is that they build up a relationship. They've been doing all these side missions to build up their level to get to that point. Whereas in this, they don't talk about that.
And I think on that, before we go to our best scenes, the worst frame of the entire film, and sadly it's the last frame.
Singular frame.
Well, I mean, I'll say the last 20 frames, is the end of the film when they just turn around on a chair and they're making out, and I'm like, why are you ending with this? What? This is... I am so uncomfortable right now. Like, I don't...
Yeah,
these
absolutely.
two people are just, like... It's like, I don't want to see this.
No, I agree. I love their idea, though, of closing the Oasis so people
Yeah, that was great.
live in the real world. That was cool. That wasn't even in the book.
Yeah, that's an awesome beat.
Get these people out into the real world and into proper relationships.
Mm.
Sweet. But don't show them making out.
No.
Show them being in a relationship. Show them just, like, playing games together or... I don't know, walking outside.
Yeah.
Like,
To lift the spirits before we end, favorite scene?
oh, what did I react to most? You go first.
Okay, so my favorite scene, because But unfortunately, it suffers from everything that this suffers in the film, which is over-explanation, because I got it straight away. The Oasis within an Oasis moment. Oh, it was so very, very good. And then they were
That was really cool.
They were like, we caught him in his stream, and this is the Oasis. We built a thing around him, and this is what we're doing. Look at this CGI hologram of the whole thing, and this is. I'm like, stop! I really liked it. Don't ruin it.
Yeah, you had me at hello. Like,
Yeah,
just stop.
I get this. It's fine. And like a Pulp Fiction reference as well with the two guns. Oh, you're very good.
I absolutely loved the quick little shots of seeing them play Adventure. Having played Adventure for an episode, which I'm not sure we'll be at before or after this episode, that was just awesome, because I'm like, I've played that! I know exactly where they are in the game! Just watching it, I was like, this is so exciting!
It was just incredible to see on a screen as well, like a big screen. Like that game.
Yeah.
So, in summary, I think we both really enjoyed this film. Josh obviously enjoyed it more.
I've been waiting for this movie since I think you told me that it was announced.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, and I'm so glad it finally happened.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm surprised that I was too. Like, I walked out of that going, I'm glad this was made.
Yeah, because I walked out and I'm like, I really hope Will liked it, but I had this massive fear that you hated it. I was like, I feel like this review right now, I'm going to be very mad at what Will is saying throughout this whole thing. But I understand all of your points. I understand if people don't like this movie as well. Fine, totally fine. But this movie was mine. So piss off, this was mine.
It's just too fun to hate. There is too much joy, too much, like, I mean, we didn't talk about much about Spielberg, but Spielberg, his magic oozes all through this film. There's whimsy. The golden glow of the egg, as Halliday holds it, is just pure Spielberg magic. It's just... This film is too good in all the right places to hate.
Well, frickin', I don't know, like 9 out of 10 for my amount of excitement.
I mean, I think I gave it 7 out of 10, and not in a bad way at all.
Okay.
But just, for me, as a film, it is not finished in its dialogue, and but the plot is just... It is everything I hated about the original book is gone. One of the very small reasons Ernest Cline being involved is that he changed it but kept the tone of his original book, his original vision. It's kind of like having George Lucas involved in, like, The Last Jedi. Maybe that would have solved some of the issues, because Lucas would have been like, oh, I don't want to do that, and stuff like that. Having the original writer on there, I think he fixed everything that he might have not liked about his original plot, and it still felt like the same book.
And it was changed enough. It almost felt like the same world and the same story, but a different story.
Yeah, it felt like a sequel.
There was something about it. It was really weird. I loved having almost a different version of this story.
I'm looking forward to seeing it again. If you are, or if you've seen it before, I don't know, you've watched a whole, like, 40-minute video about spoilers, so it's very strange if you haven't seen the film. Let us know down in the comments what you think about the film. What else should they do, Josh?
They should like, comment, subscribe, which is pretty much what you just said. Check us out on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram, Ettogram. All of that information is down below as well in the description.
It is indeed. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned, because either before or after this there's been some Ready Player One related videos. Zara's also doing a cool little cosplay challenge, so stay tuned for those things. But until the next video, the Doctor of Who out.
Sheep out.
Very damp. Are you damp?
I'm not damp.
Oh.
I'm not often damp.
That's very true.
But you sounded damp in the movie.
I was very damp down below.